impulsively having this food at 11:26 according to the clock on the stove. I got out 2 pieces of bread, but I decided to leave this one alone because I know it's telling me lies. The bread is telling me lies. It's telling me lies. I'm not gonna need this. Not only that, but this food does not care about my health. It doesn't care about what it's doing to me. It's just, oh, we're just selling our product. And the leftover curry that I made in the microwave, you can probably hear it. But yeah, I think I might have to change my sleep routine to change this. If I don't do that, then I could just simply exercise willpower to not do this. I'm not feeling hungry. I'm just feeling a bit thirsty. But even still, I'm gonna eat this food. Even though I'm not feeling hungry, I could eat. I think I just need to carry on improving my sleep routine and this won't happen. Over time, man. Every day, slowly but surely. Anything in the past, monkey see, monkey do. I see my daddy eat big portions, so I eat big portions. That could partly explain why I'm doing what I'm doing now. Maybe. Rather ironically, I consider that some food for thought. But anyway, even though I'm not feeling hungry, I'm just feeling thirsty, I am going to eat this. But only with 1 slice of bread rather than 2. Because the bread's telling me lies. I'm not gonna need that other slice. The bread, my hunger hormones, both of them. Yeah. Slow improvements are better than none. Listen to me justify my actions. But you know what? Slowly but surely we can reduce it even further and further. Cheers to making progress. Instead of having 2 slices, got 1 slice. Hell yeah. Eventually, it will be none at all. And I won't be eating at this time at 11:30. Wow. Right, I've eaten the food quickly. 10 minutes. The clock here is saying 20 to midnight. 20 minutes to midnight, 11:40 p.m. And my stomach feels full. I didn't drink whilst I ate, but I remember to drink some water. And from the food itself, my belly bloated nowhere near as much as it usually would. Yeah, half as much. It's still bloated, but nowhere near as much. So I'm feeling quite happy with that. Instead of 2 slices of bread, change it just to 1, even if I do it. 2 slices of bread. No, 1 slice. Yeah, you're not gonna need 2 anyway. 2's too much. Don't be fooled by your hunger hormones. It's telling lies. Telling lies. You don't need 2 slices of bread. You don't. Ideally, we have a different alternative to bread because that bread could be very unhealthy for me because of how refined it is. I don't even know how refined it is, but I know there are a lot of ingredients on that list, and that might not be all of them. So I'd rather have an alternative to that sort of food. Slowly but surely, I'll figure it out. It's not like they aren't out there. It's not like alternatives aren't out there. It's just that I have to open my eyes more to them bit by bit, day by day. And that's happening over time. So, yeah, don't have anything else to say on that. I'll just eat that sort of food less and then eventually change, have replacements, healthier alternatives for foods like bread and so on. And then have days where the food is at least somewhat unhealthy, and then the rest of the days meals are healthy. With the less healthy days, for the sake of balance, would be 1 day a week, ideally, just so that there are more boundaries with eating unhealthy foods, maybe more refined, more processed foods. Probably use that day to bake brownies, flapjacks, so on. Yeah. We'll all get it clearer over time, and I'll have, slowly but surely, bit by bit, month by month, I'm opening my eyes to those healthier alternatives for things like bread. I may have said that earlier, but I'm getting there, man. I'm getting there, seriously. And I believe myself when I say it, because I'm tracking the foods that I eat, that this is sustainable for me. And I'm also thinking of my fitness pal tracking my meals 1 day a week to start getting more information for what I eat, and more information about what I eat, which will help me in the future. But yeah, I'll leave it at that for now, because I don't have anything else to say. I don't want to be eating at 11:30, man. I say I have nothing left to say, and then I say that, but it's true. I don't want to be eating at 11:30, man. I want to change my habits, stay consistently eating earlier and going to bed earlier. I'm at least making a start. I might not have done it today, but yesterday and the day before, I made an effort, so I do mean it. The change will be gradual, but sustainable. Cheers to that change with my Nivea cream. Alright, got these out to have them for later in the day. Haven't had my first meal yet. Just want to have some cereal, some Nutri-Bran, because I want something quick to eat. Impulsive decision, basically. Yeah, when I get a job as a gym instructor, I'm gonna have to bulk cook, I think, so that I have meals ready to go. Because I might not be able to do this. I'm not gonna be at home as long, so I won't be here to cook all the time. I'm gonna need food packed. I'm feeling very hungry. I'm a little bit thirsty too, so I'm gonna eat now, yeah. Even though it's not the healthiest of meals with the amount of sugars that are in it. I mean, that's if those figures are true as well. Yeah, slowly but surely I'll get more together with these sorts of meals. I could have eggs and 1 slice of toast. Like how Akash from Transform Your Body, Transform Your Life says he has. Maybe not. I don't know, but anyway, enough of that. I'm gonna eat now. I was gonna have some Pringles with this, but I'm deciding not to, because I don't want to be eating unhealthily all the time, man. I just wanted to add some more food because I want to do that depression and anxiety self-assessment quiz, but I haven't yet done it, and I'm feeling hungry. But yeah, I'm gonna resist that and actually just have this instead, the healthier option rather than that and this. Yeah. It's 4:02 in the evening as well, by the way. I'm eating this meal just for future reference to help me understand when I'm eating my meals. That's useful information. So I don't eat at like midnight and that. Yeah. Meal 2:02. Right, this is my review to compare this week's front torso physique, upper body from the front, really, and that's it. From last week to this week. So apparently, according to the results I got from last week and this week, the body fat percentage difference is 0.2%, from 16.9% body fat to 17.1% body fat. That sounds really that sounds really out of place to me. I would have thought that the body fat percentage would be, the body fat percentage difference would be larger, because my belly looks significantly larger in today's photo compared to last week's photo. It looks like I'll put on quite a bit of body fat, in my opinion. A noticeable amount. But my belly could have looked like it bloated up a little bit this week compared to last week, because I didn't go to the toilet before taking the photo. I just took the photo, so I might have needed to go for a piss and shit before doing that. I actually had to go to the toilet to take a shit after, so that might have actually had something to do with it. The reason why I say that anyway, even though it may sound like too much information, is because that does play a part in the results. Yeah, it's just that I'm not not sugarcoating that, man. I'm not sugarcoating that. That's just the truth, and that's how I want to say it. So that's how I'm going to say it. That's yeah, I'm not all that bothered, and I've been reading this, and one of the things it said was that as you bulk, you might have to have what he called a little bit of fluff before being able to cut down and have a larger amount of muscle than you once did. He was also saying that you might have to, in order to be significantly, to have a lot more muscle and to have lowered your body fat percentage down significantly, it might actually take anywhere from 3 to 5 years around about of annual cycles of bulking and cutting to actually get there, and maybe create the breeding grounds to stay there, so to get in shape and to stay in shape, which is one of the main principles of this book. Master your mind and body to be in the shape of your life for life, which basically means getting in shape and staying in shape, which is something that he talks about throughout the entirety of the book. My legs look this. My arms, shoulders, they look the same, really. If we're comparing this week's photos compared to last week's photos, I don't really pay attention to them because I don't see a noticeable difference in there. Not only that, but my original goals weren't related to putting on more size in my legs or my calves or my back. It was just, I wanted to see my abs. I wanted to see my abs. And I'd imagine that after a year, that's had an effect. That's rubbed off on me, because it has been enough time to do so. So it does make sense as to why I predominantly focus on what's going on here, from head to stomach, and it's the place where you can see change the most, really. If I eat a lot, it will show on my belly, whereas it won't show on my legs. It won't really show on my arms. It will show on my face as well, but it will hit the belly first. It's easy to see change, so it's easier to see progress on a short-term basis. That could be why I want to do it. That could be a part of why I want to do it as well. Yeah. I don't actually mind my body fat percentage being higher and my BMI being higher, if that means that I put myself in a position where I can actually build muscle. I can, like, look at this. Look, I'm not going to be here for much longer. My arms aren't going to look like this for much longer. It's an obvious sign that you've done work. You put in work. It's harder to see progress you've made in your legs compared to the arms, because when you look at yourself in the mirror, you're not going to go out of your way to automatically look at your legs. I certainly don't, at least. But I see my upper body, and I see, although it does look like I've grown, there could have been because of an increase in body fat percentage rather than an increase in muscle, because according to the results, my muscle percentage actually decreased rather than increased, but my arms are looking bigger. From a 0.2% body fat increase? Really? Isn't that a bit of a stretch? I don't know, man. I'll just keep looking. My BMI is gonna have to get higher probably. And that's fine, just as long as that's not because I've allowed myself to put on a lot of body fat, and actually allow myself to have an overweight physique rather than an in shape one. My shoulders look extremely slightly more round this week compared to last week, but that could be because of how I sized up, how I scaled the photos. It could also be because of my efforts, but eventually the progress I would have made, it would be undeniable. There would be no speculating. It would be obvious. That sort of change though, that had come more so a year's worth of time, just like how it has from the 21st of August last year to where we're at now, or where I'm at now. It's not a we thing, it's a me thing. See, I guess it's my body, but yeah, as for the body fat thing, I don't mind having a higher body fat percentage for a while, if that means I can put on muscle and then cut and still maintain most of that muscle. Yeah, we'll see. After a year's time, after a few months' time, it will eventually be more obvious. Slowly but surely, I would have got very far. Yeah, but I don't have anything else to say about this for now, so I'll leave it there. On to the next clips. These are my thoughts for today's weigh-in compared to last week's weigh-in. So yesterday I saw my arms look bigger in the yellow t-shirt I was wearing. Today's Friday, so I'm talking about Thursday. And I thought it could have been a noticeable increase in muscle, but it could in fact be a noticeable increase in body fat percentage according to the results, because my muscle percentage has stayed essentially the same, but the body fat percentage I think has increased from 17 to 16%. Sorry, from around about 16% last week to whatever the results were today, around about 17%. And it's harder for me to say whether it's a muscle increase or body fat increase in terms of explaining why my arms looked bigger in that t-shirt, because I don't have any performance indicators in terms of how much weight I'm able to lift yet. It's something I'm working on, and I know that I want to make a video on it. I plan to make a video on it today, so I'll get on with that. That won't be here in the weekly review, but it will be a separate video that I'll make today. I've got that planned, so that'll come out. I think when I have my performance indicators in terms of how much I can lift with certain exercises, and I work on increasing the weight and my ability to be able to lift these weights, then it'll be undeniable. I would have had to have an increase in muscle, I'd like to imagine. Certainly an increase in strength for the bare minimum, but also an increase in muscle as well. Or otherwise, how are you going to be able to lift heavier if you don't have the muscle to be able to do that? That's my reasoning for what I'm saying. So, to cut a long story short, it could have been because of the fat increase, body fat percentage increase, but it will become clearer to me as to whether it's predominantly muscle or predominantly fat over time. I mean, I'll be able to see it around my belly if it's predominantly fat. That's where fat goes for the most part. That's where it goes initially, and then it go around my face, and then maybe even my arms. Visceral fat is 3, which is still fairly, that's not fairly healthy, that is healthy. It's in the very low ranges of the healthy mark, which is what we're looking for. It has been 2 in the past, but a potential explanation for the increase could be because of the amount of oil I've been using in my food. For example, the amount of oil I'd use to cook the curries that I've had this week, and that I've also used to cook meat as well, like my chicken and my steak. Yeah. It is really hot. It's really hot here. I'm just going to take my hoodie off. Right, we're in some shade now. I felt comfortable talking about my review more after being burnt in the sun. But anyway, let's keep it going. My BMI is in a healthy range, but I am going to have to get closer to or in the overweight BMI class, because I'm gonna weigh more as I put on more muscle. So naturally I'm gonna be closer to, or maybe in, the overweight BMI class. Seeing as BMI doesn't take your body fat percentage or your muscle percentage into account. I still don't know what RM is.
I've spoken about visceral fat. That's fine. There's not really much else to speak about. I think from this week compared to last week, I may have lost a bit of weight according to the results, but those are the only results I got. I didn't get an average, because right now I just want to make weighing myself more sustainable. Weigh myself this way where I just get the results and go make that more sustainable, because I was doing it in a very extreme way before this, where I was weighing myself over 10 times to get averages, to get reliable averages. I'd weigh myself 5 times on one of the scales, another 5 times on a different scale, and then I weigh myself 5 times on the scale that you've seen in the video, which is one out of the 2 scales I'd use to just get my weight, to be able to get all of the other results, like BMI, muscle percentage, body fat percentage, visceral fat, and RM, whatever that is. I don't know what that is still. I'm recovering from that basically, and hence to make my recovery a solid recovery from that extreme place I went, from that extreme way of recording my weight that I was once doing, making it, I'm going to this way to make it more sustainable. And then I could work up to weigh myself 3 times to get a solid average for all results. Yeah, I would take a bit of maths to do, but that's fine. It's not like it's much compared to getting an average from 10 different results, or 10 different weight measurements. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's all I've really got to say for now. I'll use my performance indicators to see whether I'm lifting more and put myself in a position in which I'm more likely to build muscle. And I'll also start weighing my food once a week, 1 day a week, so that I have more information about the food I'm eating. But that's me done talking about my weigh-in. I'll see you in the next clip. I've got so much that I want to talk about that I'm seeing on the whiteboard, and I'm thinking that it's just, right now, I'm just starting to think that this is too much. It's too much. I've been walking up and down the room a little bit restless, honestly. More so just acted like I'm restless. Just overstimulated, really, that's it. It's kind of hard. It's very difficult to make these videos if I don't have my mind together. And actually, seeing as I'm talking about that now, I've got some plans as to how I want to go about having more control of my thoughts. I don't really know how to word it in a different way than that. On the whiteboard, I wrote, I'll do what I do in the morning. I will talk about it right now, to start the day with a clear and focused mind, and also do the same at night to shut off mentally and end the day, almost like closing a book, just for effect. Do that mentally. My idea to be able to have a clear and focused mind is to meditate, not for a specific amount of time, but just until I think it's time to move on to doing the next thing that I'll talk about, which is making a daily voiceover.
And then at night, I do the same but in reverse. Daily voiceover, and then meditate. By meditate, I mean just allow myself to have some silence mentally. No conscious thought, just allow myself to just exist for a second, then allow myself to always, allow my mind to always race. It's been like that every single day. Mind races every single day. And not with, it's not completely with useful stuff either. I tried meditating for 5 minutes, just no conscious thought, just sat down on the bed with my feet on the floor, just there, existing, but I couldn't do it. The first time I tried, I stopped the timer twice. The second time, I didn't stop the timer at all because I focused on not stopping the timer. And so many thoughts came in. It's not that that's the issue. It's what those thoughts were about that I'd rather change. And then eventually, you can work on not having any conscious thought at all when I want to. Basically having complete control of the mind. During these times that I tried meditating today, I was just thinking about drill music. And I think the reason why I'd be thinking of that is because I've watched that stuff at night. I listen to instrumentals and also listen to things that I've listened to in the past. I'd always do that at night. And YouTube would know. You'd have searches that I haven't deleted off my search history. That's like instrumentals or videos, music videos, or maybe just on the street or in blocks. And the fact that I'd be watching that stuff at night could have a part to play in it, a significant part to play in it, because it seems like that's what I remember when waking up. Because that's what I'd be listening to and processing, even though it might not seem like it, because there seemingly isn't much, I'm seemingly not using much brain power when I listen to such music. But that state that I go into, I think that could be a very vulnerable state if I allow it to be. I'm making myself more vulnerable than I have to be by listening to that sort of music, especially at night when you're feeling tired, and or when I'm feeling tired and you're not on guard as much mentally because your mental energy is done from doing what you're doing during the day. So the brain might just be willing to absorb anything because the boundaries are down, because your guard's down. That's something that I want to change, but the only way I'd be interested in changing it is just by not doing it at all. Having the screens just out of the room, having the phone, the laptop out of the room when I'm sleeping, so that I can get an early night's rest and I can allow myself to think and meditate too until I fall asleep and then wake up the next day. This may be the thing that I do that will mean that I not only start off the day with a clear mind, but I also consistently go to bed early, because I'll be thinking about it. I'll be reviewing the days consistently, and then I'd be putting the phone away and the laptop away out of the room so that I could get some early night's rest, and then allow myself to think the thoughts that I want to think. And then when it's time, after I've done that, and after I've processed some thoughts that I have on the mind, allow myself to meditate consistently every day. So I could do this at night time, I could do this, and I do the same during the day, but I'll be doing that to start the day off with a clear, focused mind. So I'll be starting and ending the day with a clear and focused mind. But is it realistic to expect myself to work every day though? To always be productive, or whatever they want to call it, every day? That's not fair on me. At least have some days off. At least allow myself to relax some days. Go out, man. Leave the area. Go see different things. Go explore something, rather than thinking about it. Rather than thinking about the direction I want to head in, or rather than working towards it every day. Every day. I do want to be consistent, and I am being consistent, but I don't want to be too consistent with those sorts of things, because then that would mean I'd lack flexibility in what I could go out there and see, or / go out there and do. And in the far future, when I reflect on my life, I might regret that. For whatever reasons I think in the future. I don't know what reasons I regret them for, but I might. Because I'd be only setting myself up for one way of life and not going out there seeing different, which is exactly a part of what I want to do, in the form of going to different countries. I'll start off small with that and then branch out and go further and further when I trust my ability to travel. I'll probably get used to flying planes of it. I get used to flying in commercial airlines and also flying my own planes. Eventually. It's all possible if I want it to be, and it certainly is possible. It's not like there's a shortage of resources. It's not like there's a shortage of money to go around. There isn't. So it absolutely is possible. Regardless of how long it takes, it's possible. Maybe even a helicopter too. Hey, that'd be nice to be able to pass those licenses. A motorbike license as well. So I could drive, I could ride if I want, just for the sake of more freedom. I could drive if I want, I could ride my bike if I want, I could fly to a different place if I want. That'd give me a lot more freedom. And also I'd enjoy it, because I'd be more self-reliant, because I'd be giving myself more ways to be able to travel. I'd be giving myself more forms of travel, private transport, which I can use. Depending on where I can and can't fly, so on. I don't know, there may be a lot of restricted airspace. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know about that stuff. But yeah, anyway. That's why I want to meditate during the day, and I noticed from trying it today, the mind's racing, and the mind's thinking about drill music. Seems like it's thinking about that, and probably because I'll be watching that sort of stuff at night, when the mind might be, without us even realizing it, taking in the most information. Because it's not like you're trying. And I had listened to the same stuff over and over again, so me remembering what's going on in those videos, it just become stronger and stronger and stronger. Not only would my memory become stronger, but the habit to do that thing at that time will become stronger by repeating it over and over again. even though I know rationally speaking I don't want to do it, because that could be very detrimental to my mental health. Listening to I woulda shoot you, I woulda shank you, and that not could be, it is. I have been able to improve my mental health even though I've been listening to that, but I'd rather not do it at all. But then again, I haven't actually found a substitute. There are many out there, and I've at one time actually typed up a like salsa mix or something like that on YouTube to change up what I listen to. I might have to bark up that alley more in order to replace listening to that sort of stuff at that time, but changing my habits, sleeping earlier will help. To be fair, I don't actually go out of my way to go and listen to music all that much. I'm not desperate to listen to music, man. There's so much music that gets played in the gym from the radios. That's my fair share. I don't like listening to the radios because, or the radios that play in the gym, because it's so repetitive, playing the same tracks over and over and over and over again. Maybe like how Akala said, it genuinely could be just a playlist of instrumentals. Just you repeat them over and over and over again, and then eventually maybe like couple of months or so, you introduce a different song and say, oh yeah, we got this is a new hit, and then you absolutely rinse the shit out of that as well. And then when you've done that, new ones, and then you just keep on recycling the tracks like that, so that people don't get bored listening to the same stuff over and over again. Sometimes, in order to change it up, you might go back to the past and then switch right back to what's being made in the present day, so that people don't get bored of what's being made today. Yeah. These radio stations playing all this music, they could just be preying on people's need for stimulation. For example, if you're driving in a car, driving in your car, sorry, and you don't have mental control and you find it extremely difficult to sit with yourself and to sit with your thoughts, then you might try and short-term get rid of that by listening to music, even though long-term that has more negative, that would have major negative effects. I say that because if you don't allow yourself to sit with yourself, you could be actually putting yourself in a position where you could get taken advantage of by what you listen to. For me personally, I think I've been doing that by listening to drill music. And imagine that there are so many people around me that were in that fast lane way of life. I'll be putting myself in a position where I'm even more vulnerable, not only because of my outside environment, but because of what I'm voluntarily listening to. Oh, on a side note, elbows are kind of ashy. Hold on a sec. But yeah, I know I want to stop that. But it's that sort of music. It's a habit that I've built over the years, going from listening to grime music to drill music. It wasn't violent before when I was listening to it, when I started listening to grime music originally around 2015, so I could be cool. Bear with me, at that time I was around 13, 14, so bear with me on that one. Eventually, the music that I listened to would eventually become more and more violent. The lyrics would become more and more violent, yeah. as I went further and further deep down that rabbit hole, and then the grime music I listened to slowly changed. I slowly started listening to drill instead. No reason in particular, but it's something that just happened. And now, here I am, listening to it at night. I can't remember a day recently in which I haven't done that. I have noticed though, with just watching YouTube content in particular, that's when the mind seems clear. Maybe that's a part of actually why I want to listen to it, for that short-term fix, even though long-term, I'd be neglecting my mind if I carry on doing that. So I've talked about that. Oh, yeah, it's another different thing. I started praying. Not in a religious way. We're just saying this same thing over and over again. Health, health. I wish health upon myself. That was the prayer that I came up with. Health, health. I wish health upon myself. And then if there's anything on the mind more than that, I'd say it. And that would be my prayer. But in praying, you'd be asking for something. Why do I want health? Out of all things. I'm not asking, when I pray, I'm not asking that from a God or anything, but just more so from myself. I'm not going to expect a God to be able to help me out or anything like that. Oh, pardon me. That's not going to work. Don't get me wrong, I'm not anti-religion, but saying that, oh God, please do this for me, do that for me, when you aren't doing anything yourself, that's just taking the piss. That's taking the absolute fucking piss. I remember Love Dorsey saying that faith without work is dead. And there are some people that do that. Absolute piss takers. But there are some that do believe in religion and that do actually get shit done. So shout out to them. Shout out to them. Yeah, if people want to have religious beliefs, that's amazing, but I personally don't, because I'd much rather look at least the main religions and read their way of lives from as unbiased a perspective as I possibly can, to be open-minded, to listen to taking in their values and seeing if they'd help me, and then from there go from there. If I want to believe in a religion or believe in certain values in religions, I'll do that. Or if I don't want to believe in it at all and I think it's a whole lot of bollocks, then I'll do that as well. But for now, yeah, I'm taking that decision to decide what sort of religious beliefs I have or don't have for myself, rather than letting my parents do that for me. They thought they had the right to do that. They don't. But yeah, that's that. It was like they were trying to force that a religious way of life on me when I wasn't even ready for it and hadn't made the conscious decision to do it, to go down that route myself. But that's what I'm looking for, to be able to say I'm doing it because I want to do it, rather than just following what my parents are doing. It doesn't matter what set of religious beliefs you have, or what set of religious beliefs you don't have. Please, if you are going to believe, do it because you want to believe, rather than because somebody else told you to believe. And they're basically shoving that way of life down your throat, like how my parents did. They're saying that I had Muslim beliefs since birth. I was a Muslim since birth. No, I wasn't. No, the fuck I wasn't. I didn't decide that. Since when? When I was born, I was saying, why? That's what I was doing as far as I'm concerned. If I could barely say goo goo gaga, how am I meant to comprehend concepts like the afterlife, heaven, hell, or anything like that? Let alone, yeah, that was a mess. But I'm taking control now, and here I am. I'm taking control of my own life, hell yeah. In the form of a weekly health reviews and having something to show for every day. At least if mum ever again says, well, you're not doing anything, I always have this. I think while starting this journey, after starting this channel, she has. But I know that's not the truth, and I can feel comfortable knowing that that's not the case. Thank goodness for that. Otherwise, I don't know where I'd be. I don't know what sort of dark place I'd be if I hear that and then nothing's actually going on. That I genuinely believed, if I heard that and I genuinely believed it, I don't even want to think about where I'd be. So I'm going to talk about that. I said I wanted to talk about my thoughts on food this week, what I've been eating. I've been eating very healthily and taking my health into account, as usual now. That's become usual. With eating, adding spinach, a lot of spinach, adding a whole load of mixed veg, going out of my way to make my foods, going out of my way to make the foods I eat bloat me less than before. I'm trying to articulate myself clearly. I don't think I'm doing it here. The foods, eating a whole load of rice and pasta, I noticed that my belly would bloat a lot, and I've gone out my way to find meals that make me bloat a lot less, and I'm finding success in that. I had a pasta baked spinach meal with some broccoli, cauliflower, some steak, I think, or maybe some chicken. Yeah, I think it was broccoli and cauliflower, pasta baked sauce, spinach, chicken within that pasta baked sauce and spinach, and then some extra chicken on the side. And I've made slight improvements on how I go about cooking my food. I've been cooking my food with less oil a little bit. I've been cooking my meats with less oil a little bit since I've been using the oven. I'm now actually putting the oven to use. Not only to allow the food to cook throughout without having to flip it on one side, but also for having a golden brown colour that putting the chicken in a frying pan wouldn't give if I'm making peri chicken, for example, unless I probably burnt it, to be honest. No constipation. I've been saying that. No constipation. And starting from this week, I've been going out of my way to drink whilst eating my food. It'll make me feel more full quick. And also, I've been staying more hydrated because of that. Speaking of, I actually do need to drink some water, but with the way how I'm just going at this, I'd rather just finish this take first and then I'll do that. All right, so I've spoken about food a lot this week. I made a whole 1 hour video based on my thoughts on food and the sorts of meals that I ate. And it was pretty ideal. There sometimes I had breads and sandwiches, but to be fair, I can't expect myself to eat healthily with all of that spinach and mixed veg every day. There should be a bit more of a balance. Right, I could bake, for example. That'd be nice. I could bake, try out different recipes. Something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time now, but I still haven't done it. Eventually. But yeah, as for foods on this week, £30 worth of meat and fish. That was worth it. pardon me, it's day 7 of since I bought that, since I went shopping. I have a couple of frozen chicken breast fillets left. I have 2 pieces of steak left as well. So that's pretty solid. I got 2 pieces of salmon thawing out now and 1 piece of steak thawing out now for the meal that I'm gonna have. Even though it's my second meal and I usually have like rice and pasta with this meal, I don't want to. I'd rather have some broccoli and some cauliflower. I think it's because I'd want to change things up, and it made me bloat less, more convenient, very conveniently. I won't feel extremely big. Like my belly, speaking of, there was this one time this week that I could feel my belly hang over my trousers as I was bent over to go get a cloth. Well, as I bent down to get a cloth. Don't just bent over and just stayed there. Yeah. Oh my gosh, man. This has been a less than half-hour take. 28 minutes, 35 seconds apparently. Well, that's according to the screen recording time. It's been a while. It has been a while since I started this clip. And if I'm not careful with the way that I record, I can just allow myself to just go about life just feeling overstimulated, like how I was before actually making this video. Because I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. That's not healthy for the mind. I need time to be able to bring it together. I'd say that I'm mentally stable. I still believe that, but I do believe that, I now believe that I've got to further improve. Because, I mean, look at how I'm holding my fingers. Like, I'm holding my left index, my left index finger tight for no reason. And I've noticed that I've scratched my head throughout this video. Speaking of, that actually perfectly leads me into one of the things that I said I wanted to say. I wanted to talk about my thoughts on reading last week's depression and anxiety self-assessment quiz. The fact that I wrote down that I was scratching my head during the videos, the weekly review, I think I was referring to in particular, that was concerning to me. So I highlighted it as I went over it yesterday on Thursday, even though I just left it blank. I just left it alone when I was originally writing the test results up. Speaking of, I haven't made my my video, though I haven't made the review for this week yet, and I really want to. I eventually am going to, but I want to go back to sleep quickly. Sleep is a part of mental health, and I noticed that it's just everything's just much slower during if I sleep late and wake up late compared to if I sleep early and wake up early. I want to get out of bed when I wake up early, whereas I just stay in bed for much longer. Not because of being lazy, but just out of habit. That's what I do. If I wake up late, that's just what I do out of habit. And I'm saying this to be able to add my notes on my thoughts on sleeping early compared to sleeping late. So here goes. Right. I'm not sure if I actually, oh, no, never mind. Yeah, I have spoken about the differences with the sleep routine. I've basically said everything that I want to say. I've been going out my way to make the effort to sleep early. Wednesday and Thursday, I think I did. I went and slept early. It was just that last night, I stayed up because I was uploading the the eating section part of the weekly review. That's why I stayed up. If I wasn't uploading that, then I would have got an early night's rest. Apologies for that. I have just made a over 30-minute clip. I think I can now understand why I might actually be finding it difficult to focus on learning gym instructor stuff, because I put a lot of the brain power here. This is literally something that I said a while back, maybe a couple of weeks ago. I don't remember, but yeah, it makes sense now. Or maybe I can have the best of both worlds, have this level of concentration, and then have this same level, have this level of concentration here, and then allow myself to have the same level of concentration in the same day, every day, whatever I want, just by having some rest during in between making the videos and actually learning the material. That actually brings me on to a next point. So there's someone who's decided to call himself Yaza. I can't find their channel by just typing that in. It's YAZA. And this person, you can find this person who makes videos by typing in Yaza self-improvement, YAZA self-improvement. And in one of the most recent videos that the man's made, he was saying that you can focus on your actions rather than the problem. Pardon me. That may be very helpful for me to do. Instead of saying, oh, I can't, I'm basically saying I can't, I'm finding it difficult to learn the material. I'm basically saying I can't do it. I could ask myself, what am I, pardon me, what am I doing that's helping? What am I doing that's not helping? Might be useful. I wouldn't say it like that though. Personally, I've got a different idea in mind that would have the same effect as asking myself those sorts of questions. And that different idea that I have in mind is to use what I've decided, what I've called performance indicators, which is an idea that I got from here. They called it the same thing, and I just copied and pasted the idea of them basically. It's what they'd use to be able to see, to be able to track their progress, very basically. I got this idea from someone talking about their story within the book. I think it was a woman talking about lifting weights heavier. It doesn't matter that she's a woman, but she was. Yeah. I don't remember who said it or what page it was on, but yeah, very basically, that's what was going on. And I'd like to use the same idea so that I have more, I can more easily track how well I'm doing, if I like where things are heading and I like how I'm progressing, and also if whether I like the rate I'm progressing at. And then from there I could probably even further develop my ideas around those sorts of questions and ask myself more questions, or expect myself to go into more detail in specific ways about those questions. Let's see, so I haven't made my self-assessment quiz yet, so I can't talk about that. Sleep routine I've done. I've spoke about food, praying, meditating. thoughts on up and coming exams. I've got some stuff going on. Very basically, within these, you've got theory and practical. You've got theory one coming up very soon, and practical all coming up. That'd be over and done with within a month's within a month's worth of time. Very basically, and I'll have to pre-record videos for around that time, so that I still have something to show for those days on which I'll be doing the exams. But when I'd have exams coming up, usually I feel some form of nerves, even though some of the theory exams are coming up. I'm not feeling anything. I'm not making myself stress out about those sorts of things anymore. I don't even think I'll pass. I think I'll pass eventually, but just not right now, not the first time. And the reason why is because I just haven't learned much, because I tell myself that I'm finding it difficult to learn, rather than saying, well, I could do this and that to actually help myself learn. I just basically just be complaining and say, instead of saying, what is it? Like, go into very specific details. What is it that I could do to improve how effectively I go about learning the material, improving my performance basically. And in order to help me do this, I've been talking about performance indicators, and also treating learning that sort of stuff like a gym session. You got your warm up, your main session, and then you cool down. I'm thinking of treating it like that. I don't know how I do that, but at least I'll be coming up with solutions as to how I can actually go about learning, rather than complaining, oh, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing as much as I can be doing. And I've got a call coming up sometime this week or next week, for the sake of keeping on track with learning. And it's soon, basically soon. And yeah, I'm done telling my tutors, oh, well, I'm not doing as much as I'd like. Because I've been saying that over text, over the phone, over emails. Enough's enough. Instead of saying that over and over again, why not focus on solutions? And then from there, that could be the thing that I do that would allow me to change. I had to change up how I go about push-ups. Instead of saying, I'm trying to reach a certain rep, that sort of mentality was the same mentality that was holding me back. I started focusing on form, and changing how I thought meant I actually changed how I went about doing the push-ups, which meant I did more reps than I was ever able to before, by focusing on form rather than reps. I might have to do a similar thing with learning the material, focusing on how high quality how high quality the session is in terms of how much I remember. How much I remember and how clearly I remember it, that has more value over how long I've been learning it for. And that's something I've got to remember. I'll focus on solutions rather than complaining, very basically. That would be my piece of advice. I'm actually going to write that on the board. I still haven't done my results yet. Well, I haven't done the test yet. The depression and anxiety self-assessment quiz. I haven't done it yet. This is a quiz that the NHS do that you can just type up and find online to help you track your mental health on a weekly basis. Something's better than nothing. It's been helping me. It works for me, so I have no problem recommending it to other people if they are looking for advice on how to improve their mental health. I don't want to be one of those people that are talking about, oh, well, actually, it reminds me of Emma McDonald on YouTube saying, well, I'm opening up about my mental health, and then it's probably just something about go buy BetterHelp, go buy a BetterHelp membership under my code. Yes. I'd have a problem with doing it because there's money involved. I don't know, man. For me personally, I'd feel some sort of way. If she doesn't, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Does she want to help people? Does she not? I don't know. That's not really my business either, but I can say that she's at least giving people an opportunity to, giving people an idea, a way to be able to track their mental health and improve it. That I can say, so that's pretty solid on her part. Nice one. But I wouldn't want to do it because I'd be getting money from that. Maybe in the future, if I were to get a sponsorship like that, it would sit well with me recommending their product, even though there's money involved. Maybe in the future, but for now, it certainly wouldn't. Because I wouldn't be using that product if there's no money involved. I could track my mental health enough as it is without it. Maybe that's why it doesn't sit well. Maybe that's why that sort of stuff doesn't sit well with me. Because I know personally, I wouldn't want to do that. And there could be a sense of dishonesty with that. She might not care. She might, and other people who recommend better help services might not actually care about the product itself. They might not even be using it. You never know, man. You really never know. Maybe not. She might be making it seem like she cares about other people, going out of her way to allow other people to improve their mental health, and when in reality she doesn't. The only thing I could do is speculate, but I know personally that I wouldn't want to do something like that because I know I wouldn't be using their products if there's no money involved. That's the truth. I know I felt a little bit of tension. Not like my chest tightening, but feeling when saying that and saying her name. But it's the truth, man. It's the truth. And I deserve to be able to speak my mind. I have that right. Yeah. I will speak my mind. Anyway, I said I wanted to oh, actually no, I'll go back to talking about the exams. They're coming up soon, and I'm going to be talking to one of my tutors soon. When? None of your fucking business, but I'll be doing it. And that was actually a part of my weekly plans from last Friday to today that I wanted to do. I've done most of them, to be honest. I've gone through everything. I actually bring, I won't show them but I will talk about them here now. You don't need to know every single little thing I'm doing, so I'll purposefully be vague. The only thing I really didn't do to as much as I would have liked is the gym instructor course material, and I think a part of the problem as to why that's the case is because I keep saying that. I've got to change. Yeah, I'm gonna write that up actually. I've got to stop saying that. What I put is, I have to stop saying that I'm not doing as much learning of the gym instructor material as I'd like, because I'm basically wishing that on myself. If I keep saying that, I'll keep getting that. I'm gonna write that now. And I have to focus on how I'm actually going to learn how I'm actually going to learn the material, rather than saying I'm not doing as much as I'd like over and over again. That's not helping. Yeah, things need to change. I've written that as well. Okay. So, yeah, I'll get on with that. That clearly isn't helping. I'm clearly holding myself back by saying that. So, enough's enough. But yeah, and I have to change how I think about that, because I'm wishing it on myself. I'm wishing not learning as much as I'd like on myself by saying that. So yeah, things have to change. It's not something that I want, but it's something I'm wishing on myself by saying it over and over again. It's something I say and believe, and because I say it and I believe it, I just keep getting that. So I've got to say something else. I've got to come up with the solutions, and then when I'm doing it, then I'll be able to say I'm learning as much as I'd like, or at least I like the rate at which my ability to learn the material is progressing. That I'd be able to truthfully say. And then maybe one day I say I like the rate I'm learning at. And I don't feel the need to try and further speed it up. But I might actually go out my way to go and learn how to learn more efficiently if I want to, if I do want to speed things up for whatever reason. Out of convenience, I won't talk about any notes that I made on any notes I would have made on the self-assessment quiz during this video, or at least during the recording of this video, because I just want to get this video over and done with. So instead I'll just talk about my mental health in general. It's been okay, it's been pretty solid. Nothing out of the ordinary really. Nothing out of the ordinary. Mentally stable, eating healthily, have no problems going to the toilet, thank goodness for that. That would make life a lot lower quality than it'd need to be, when they're literally, the options are right there. The healthier options are right there. I don't need to go and eat unhealthily. Having gone to fast food shops, hate them places, so that's amazing. I would like to have more of a balance where I can bake, I can cook my own, like maybe chips for example, have fried chicken on the side, and also maybe chicken fillet burgers, make my own of them. At least I'd have a clearer idea of what's going in my system, and it'd be at least some more of a balance between the sort of meals that I'd eat regularly when I do have my shopping, my meats and my fish, compared to in the past, when basically there were really no boundaries. But over time, it will become more structured. Over time. But yeah, seriously, man, nothing out of the ordinary. Even though the tests are coming up rather soon, I'm unfazed. Even though like some of the tests in particular are coming up next week, unfazed. I'm not bothered. I know that I'll go out my way to try my best, but I'm just not stressing over it. Not only that, but I do have things to do. Like this, I have things to do. I have to track my health. I have to see where I'm at, and I have to make progress in my own life rather than stress out about exams. Oh, it also helps that I took the driving test, because I understand that anticipation's a fucking liar. Anticipation's an absolute fucking liar. I'd stress out. I felt a little bit of stress whilst I was in the test center before actually taking the test, but the driving test itself was so easy, and I believe that all of my exams will go the same way. All I have to do is just make sure that I'm ready for it, like I was ready for the driving test, practically speaking. And also in terms of my knowledge for the show me and tell me questions, and just driving about in general, knowing what the signs mean, and that there are some signs I didn't know that I forgot about, but I'm able to read the speed limits, and I know the signs. I know the signs that I need to know, basically. Yeah, that's what I say where my mental health's at. Much improved compared to last year, maybe even last month. I don't know. I'd actually like to change the background of these weekly health reviews, because it's dark, and I don't want that to be a symbol that I'm in dark times. So I'll probably get a sky color background, or maybe even white, or maybe something more natural, depending on what I want to do. I don't know, I may play about with it, just have some fun with it, but I know I don't want black. Not black. I don't want that to be a symbol that I'm in dark times. So I'll probably change that up. But as for, yeah, again, as I was saying, for my mental health, I mean, I really don't think there's anything like shit, anything extremely concerning. Yeah, I want to scratch my head on impulse right now, because I felt a very slight itch over here, but I don't want to do it. I don't want to hurt myself. It's not I'm not going out of my way to cause self-harm or to self-harm by scratching my head. I just had an impulse to scratch my neck as well. Not an impulsive thought, but just a very slight itch over there. It doesn't help that I'd be focusing on it. I'm not going to go out of my way to try and shrug it off and to not focus on it. I don't know where that would have come from, but I'll just allow myself to think about it, and then naturally allow the thoughts to dissipate, because my brain is basically screaming at me, process my thoughts towards this, please. I won't shrug it off. That didn't work. That just made things worse in the past. So I've learned from my lesson, and I will carry on using that experience I got from that lesson of shrugging things off when I was at my all-time mental health low before I created this channel. Yeah. Next week's plans. That's it. Then I'm gonna go. Next week's plans. Again, it'd probably be the same thing in some aspects. I mean, you got some of the exams I'll have to do next week. Learn as much gym instructor material as I can. I'll type it up now, actually. Yeah, so hold on a second. Let me just do that right now. I'll probably edit the clip so that this isn't wasted time. Yeah, not only that, but I need storage on my phone to upload the video. All right, I've got my thoughts together, and I planned out what I want to do for next week. It's predominantly like going down that personal training route, a little bit about driving, try and find some test dates, but we'll see. I'll see, not we. I'll see how that goes. I'll see. And I've got some extra videos that I wanted to make before today, but didn't, because I've been making so many videos. I'm only one person, man. Seriously, I'm only one person. I can only do so much. And yeah, imagine, it'd be nice to imagine that you can do however much you want and always stick to plans, but it's just not how it goes. Unless I really focus on actually getting that done. Akash talks about planning only 60 to 70% of his weeks for the sake of having some flexibility. I don't account for that personally. I haven't really thought about it I haven't thought about that yet. I haven't really been at that level. That's a very sensible idea, man, because that adds a buffer for if things don't go to plan, which I don't have. In my weekly plans that I've just made now, there's been absolutely no consideration for if I'd be able to, if I need to be flexible for whatever reason, like something's come up and there's something's come up that I didn't plan for. There's no consideration for that, and it's not really all that deep. It's within the direction that I want to go in, but the plans aren't all that deep. Like, I haven't broken down what I'd like to achieve in the space of 5 years, then break it down into, then break that down into 2 years, then 1, then half a year, and into their individual months. I haven't planned this week off that. I've just planned this week to head down that route. Planning that far ahead might actually limit me. I know the route that I want to go down, and if I don't plan that far, I might actually, I'll be giving myself more freedom to. Storage was full, sorry. I'll be giving myself more freedom in the sense that I'd be able to just completely blow out my expectations by not having those sorts of plans and not putting pressure on myself to achieve those plans. Not only that, but those plans that I make for so far in the future, they don't actually take into account the fact that as I change, my aim would change. Yeah. I know the route that I want to head down, and that's enough. I can think about it more long term over time, but this is enough. I've done enough long term thinking. Seriously, I know the route that I want to head down, and I'll get there week by week, and then eventually month by month. I'll leave it at that, man. I think I'm actually done now. I've got things to do. I've got the mental health test that I need to actually make the score for. Take the test and actually go through it, and just do what I have to do. Really, other than that, I've got things to do. Let's just put it like that. There's one more thing that I wanted to say that I didn't mention. It was hard to follow gym instructor plans due to not having any non-negotiable rules around it, and no clear plan that I've stuck to. I'm holding myself back by saying those sorts of things, man. Like, that's exactly the sort of thing that I'd be saying that's holding me back, rather than thinking about the solutions as to what I can actually do to progress, rather than actually just saying, well, I'm not learning as much as I'd like over and over again. I've basically covered that, man. I probably would have said, oh, here are the non-negotiable rules I'd like to set, or just something along those lines. Go down that route if I addressed this earlier on in the video. But now, no. I think that is the exact shit that I'm saying that's actually holding me back. So I'll leave it alone. I'll leave it alone. On a side note, I spoke about sleep routine, but I'll say it again. I want to add that I said I wanted to improve my sleep routine. I have been doing that, and that's important this time round because I said that that's what I wanted to do last week and the week before that. I kept saying that I want to improve my sleep routine, but I've finally been doing it. So self-hug for that. Self-high five, self-pat on the back. Oh gosh. Physical signs of affection do help, even if it's onto self. I was able to breathe a massive sigh of relief just then, as you heard. I don't really get that often. I don't get that often, man. But that's because of me. I'm purposefully not getting that often, so that I can keep a clear head and keep on heading in this direction that I want to head in. That's why, rather than allow myself to feel full, metaphorically speaking, just stay hungry and just keep on going down that route and feeling satisfied from doing this. Hell yeah. Or just yeah. For that matter. Alright, I'm done, man. I'm done. I'll leave it at that. I want to talk about performance indicators in another video, so yeah, I'll leave it at that. I'll bring up the mental health score now, but other than that, that's me signing out. I'll see you lot later. I'm done, man. I've been here for how long? Potentially like an hour or so, and I've got other things that I need to do. I need to do that test. So for me, that's it. I'm signing out, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm now got it together, not walking around the room. At least, even though brain's feeling overstimulated a little bit, I'm not allowing myself to just go about in a restless way, like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. That is true, but I can now chill out for a little bit and relax, knowing that I've got a plan, and then when I'm ready and I've recovered after having a little bit of rest, I can go at it with this same level of concentration I've shown in this video, like with making a half-hour clip without stopping, just 1.5 hour clip straight. Yeah, but I'm done. I'll see you lot in the next one. Seems like I'm working towards finding, like, being able to have this same level of concentration here and also in my personal life outside of this channel. But yeah, I'm done. I'll see you lot later. Bye. Cheers to making more progress, man. Cheers. I have my water bottle this time. Hey. Bye.